Hey, welcome to BreitWerks. So what are we doing now? We are going to attempt to change this seat cover. So this is out of a little Boxster that we have that getting ready to sell, but the seats are in pretty crappy shape. So there was a lot of recommendations for this Lseat thing, and I've seen some of them that just look better than factory and some of them that I would leave this alone. But we're gonna give it a shot. And if you've been following our channel for any length of time, you know that anytime we try something new, we try it out on our own stuff. So we're gonna see if it works. It's a hell of a lot cheaper than sending them out for a $3,000 set of custom leather skins. But we ordered the leather option and we'll see how it goes. They give you about 4 lines of instructions. So either it can't be that hard or we're gonna do a lot of learning as we go along. So we'll keep you in the loop, let you know. Ultimately, I'd really like to see this option work because there are a lot of seats out there that are not in very good condition. I have no interest in doing upholstery, but I do have my shop Cayenne that the seat is almost non-existent. So I'd like to try the option on that. But we're gonna see how this turns out. Worst case scenario, we box up the seats in the Classic 9, or this works out. So follow along as we figure out how to do this. Just got the kit unboxed and I was checking the pattern against the original and everything is pretty much spot on. The leather's nice too. Got the first piece out of the seat. So we're gonna take this slow, but so far, I'm gonna lay everything next to it. Looking good, getting this, they don't pre-punch the holes. So getting everything tight, that's always the key, is figuring out how do you get it tight. I have the experience of one time pulling a seat cover off to fix an axle on a old air-cooled seat. But I put the same seat cover back on, so I knew it fit and all of that stuff. So this is gonna be a fantastic experience. So on the seat bottom, there are a couple of staples. There's 4 staples on the back, and then for some reason they stapled this little flap on both sides. I don't see any other staples. I think everything's gonna be attached with the listing, but it comes off without taking the seat back off. There's a, on the, so this is the passenger side, but there's a Phillips head screw, goes through this hole into the seat bottom, and then the 2 white things, and I'll try to do a better job of that, but there's these 2 white clamps that go around that. But yeah, seat bottom's off. What I did was I cut all the zip ties that were holding everything up, and here's all the electronic stuff. This is actually what goes in the side of the seat to move the back up and down. But so far, we haven't had to disassemble the frame. We'll see when we get to the seat back if we have to do that. But yeah, so far we're cranking along. All right. As expected, since it was very cost-effective seat covers, there's a couple of mods. So this is the original down here, and this is the new one. So original, new one. And these listings that they sewed in, that you don't hog ring them. There's plastic rings already built into the foam pad. But anyway, this guy was pretty long. This was 11 inches. So as I was trying to mark where to cut the holes, you can see Porsche has these pre-punched so that they slip in. So not only are we gonna have to cut those holes, but this hard plastic piece was too long. So you can see I've already snipped this side, but I measured it, and basically just trying to make an exact copy of what the factory part was. So, you know, no big deal. It takes a couple minutes to do it, but there's 2 more that have to be done also. But so far things are chugging along, and our foam's in good shape, so that's very positive. and we'll keep trucking, see how this thing turns out. Okay, so you can see that I basically placed these little marks using a gray Sharpie. And what I'm trying to do is mimic what the factory had. They had this cool punch. We just used a very, very sharp razor blade. Try not to use too much sharp stuff around new leather, but we put the hole. And the hole doesn't have to be very big. It's just a little hook that this thing fits over. But what we're gonna do is, you can see the side listings here, and what Porsche has those punched holes, so we're gonna try to mark those and put that that little hole in there, or at least a little slit like we've done on these, mainly because once you're down inside this foam, it's you can't really see too much, right? So you're trying to get on that hook, and you got to make your cut or make a hole. And I tried using a little etching tool, but the razor blade works better. So we're just gonna keep moving slowly but surely. We're in a reassembly mode, so we're putting the seat bottom on. The factory screws that come out of here and here are blunt with no tip on them. So I ended up putting new screws in there that fit a little bit better. Plus they pierced a hole in the leather. Figuring out how to make these cutouts, because you don't get the cutouts on the seat skins. Figuring out how to make the cutouts, you know, you're always nervous, don't cut it too big, so it's too small, but there's a big electrical connector box behind here, so you got this is a pretty healthy cutout. What I tried to do was use the original cover. You can kind of see how big the cutout is, and there's a little notch there, but ours is probably a bit inside of that. The other thing here on the back, I know I only cut off 3 zip ties, but I put 4 back on just because I wanted everything to be kind of tightened up and nothing kind of falling underneath the seat when we go to put it back on. But we got one more step here. We've got to put that back piece in. So it kind of has to slide through here and clip on here, and I expect that to take a minute. And once we do that, we've already put back all of the accoutrements. Let's see if we can stand this guy up. Getting this to fit, that took patience and lots of pressing and kneading. Might as well have made pasta dough, but it fit and it's in there. I used a tuck tool to make sure I got it in as far as it would go. And then this one also, you have to make your cut there. You have to make your cuts here to get everything to fit properly, but all of it works. So we are going to see if we can get this last piece in, and then we're gonna go set this bitch in the sun, because this is the way they sewed the listings in. You can't get it any tighter than that, right? It's clipped in where it's supposed to be clipped in, and it's pushed all the way down. So I've got my fingers crossed, because if this how it ends up, I'm gonna be sad. But we'll see. Maybe the sun will do something. So we're gonna end this thing, and there's what we started with. That was what was on the seats, right? So 100,000 miles, something like that, and definitely well worn. What was cool though is that none of that went through to the foam. The foam actually ended up being pretty good. So now let's do the reveal. And there she is. So pretty happy with how it came out. Color match it's the same as you're going to get from Porsche if you ordered brand new Porsche covers, because this is the color it all started out as. So hey, a couple months in the sun, it'll be perfect. But everything came out really, really nice. Did the little embossed Porsche thing, and check it out, the seat back motors and everything still work. So overall, I would say these little Lseat covers, they need a little more time in the sun, that's for sure, but they are close enough that I'm pretty confident that we're going to be in really good shape. So if you were thinking about doing this yourself, hey, these covers came really great. This is probably, if you're the kind of person who asks for oil advice on Facebook, not going to be your speed. This would be advanced. I told you that I had a total of one set of seat covers that I pulled off and put right back on, but I have changed a lot of seat switches, and there's some tricks to doing all that stuff. And yes, there is a torque value for the screws that hold the seats down, 48 foot-pounds, but average DIY, probably want to pay somebody to install these on your seats. You're still going to be thousands ahead, but hey, if you're not afraid to change a wheel bearing or a front suspension strut or something that requires a lot of just figuring out, you can do it. But now I got to figure out how to go sell this little girl, because she has served her life for us. We've owned her for close to 6 years, 7 years, and now she needs to go somewhere else. So thanks for watching. If you like these kind of videos, click the subscribe button. And no, Lseat did not cut me any kind of deal, not even a wholesale deal or anything like that. Yeah, old school interior. You can see factory, there's some wrinkles, right? That's never been touched. This one, a couple wrinkles, but I'm gonna get those out either with steam or some sunlight. All right, click the subscribe button or check us out on BreitWerks.com. And if you want to buy a Boxster, let me know. Let's see how many miles are on it. Looks like there are 116,592. I'm going to probably put a couple hundred miles on there before she sells too. Take care. Have a fabulous day.